Hello YouTube, Fanta here with another review, and today I'm reviewing Xenoblade Chronicles X. It's hard to believe that Nintendo's Wii U has been out for 3 years already. In that time, a ton of great titles have come out for it, but nothing that has been released so far can compare to the massive world and feeling of adventure you get while playing Xenoblade Chronicles X. Xenoblade's story begins with the complete annihilation of Earth by several different unknown alien races. Governments on Earth send up colonization ships in hopes to keep at least some of the human race alive. Most of these ships are destroyed as soon as they leave the Earth's atmosphere, but some of these survive, including the ship that the United States sent up, the White Whale. For several years, the White Whale wandered space looking for humanity's new home, but some of the aliens that had attacked Earth caught up to them and damaged the ship enough to make it crash land on the nearby planet Mira. 2 months after landing on the planet, a woman named Elma finds you in an escape pod a few miles from the humans' new city, New LA. The player is introduced to many new characters upon arriving at the city, and is invited to join the city's military/exploration organization known as Blade. Story is something that a lot of games this generation have had a problem with. They lack a cohesive plot that the player cares about and instead decides to only focus on online elements. Xenoblade Chronicles X, on the other hand, has a fantastic and interesting story that has many twists and turns that keeps the player engaged in what's going on. This makes combat and exploration meaningful, instead of just another way to gain levels. Side quests are another thing that Xenoblade does right. These optional quests add to the world of the game and introduce the players to many different alien races that they wouldn't have met otherwise. Not only are these new species interesting to discover and talk to, but they also add new weapon markets that the player can invest in. Whenever I saw a question mark on the map, I made sure to run over and grab the quest to see what new character I would get to know or adventure I might get to experience. A theme of Xenoblade Chronicles X is choice. Once the introductory missions are complete, you have a choice between joining one of 8 different divisions in Blade. Then the player has the choice of choosing what class they want to play as. Then there's the choice of what dialogue option you want to pick when conversing with other AI. And later, you get to choose what skill you want to pick for battle. The nice thing about these choices is that you could go back later and change what class or division you are in. Dialogue choices actually lead to different outcomes. Many games these days give the player the illusion of choice, but it ultimately doesn't matter what they choose because it has the same outcome. In Xenoblade, I tested a few of the options by saving before the dialogue started and retrying with different options to see what happened. My choices would actually change what the outcome of the quest was. Xenoblade's gameplay felt like a hybrid between several other RPG games' combat systems. Combat felt fast and frenetic, and I always had to think quickly when choosing which limb of my enemy I thought would be strategic to attack. The mix of real-time combat with skill cooldowns made the game feel like an MMO, which will fit with the 32-player online asynchronous co-op. Another layer of strategy is a selection of different attack and defensive moves called arts. This introduces a new strategy element in the game by making the player create builds with only 8 of the numerous options of arts that the player is given. I found that picking arts that combo with each other made battles a lot more fun and helped me do quite a bit more damage than I would have been able to if I just picked randomly. It is also wise to pay attention to not only what cooldowns and combos are highlighted, but also to what your AI companions are shouting, because they will often shout whether it is a good time to use a melee or ranged arts for maximum damage. This game is definitely a challenge, especially to those that have never played an enormous JRPG or MMO. The game will not hold your hand when it comes to difficult boss fights, and I found myself dying many times during difficult quests. However, the game is not unfair by any means. Challenge in a game is welcome these days. It forced me to figure out different ways to approach a situation instead of the game just telling me what part of the creature to hit or what the easiest path into a fortress was. Something that the game should have been clear on was where to find certain collectibles for quests. Every single quest that dealt with having to find a certain number of a collectible wouldn't mark any location on the map, or even give a general location where it might be. The only clue that they gave was the region in which the item would be, and considering that the regions were the size of other games, it did not help. This was by far the most frustrating part of the game, especially since part of your Skell license mission requires you to find a list of collectibles. Another thing that was a little bit weird in the game is that if you have an enemy attacking you, they can keep attacking you even through solid surfaces. I found myself in many situations where the enemy was attacking me through a wall, ceiling, or floor. It never became a huge issue, but it still bothered me nonetheless. Xenoblade Chronicles X is a game that I will be playing for a long time to come. The game's lengthy story is one worth playing through, and I still need to go back and play through all of the affinity missions and side quests. Piloting massive mechs called skells through the massive world never gets old, especially when you stumble upon a new area that you haven't explored. The game's $60 price tag is well warranted with its enormous amount of single-player content alone. I can't wait to start playing online with my friends and meet new people while taking down monsters the size of office buildings. If you enjoy MMOs, RPGs, or games with a massive world, then I highly recommend Xenoblade Chronicles X. This is the epic game that hardcore gamers have been waiting for to come to the Wii U, and will hopefully bring in a new crowd to the console. I give Xenoblade Chronicles a 9 out of 10. I will be releasing my multiplayer review a little bit later on. Thanks for watching, guys. Definitely leave a like if you guys enjoyed the review. If you guys are thinking about picking up the game, please leave a comment below, and have a great day.